What's up, guys? It's Tyler with Hooksets Are Free. Hope you're having a great day, night, whenever it is that you're watching this. Just wanted to come at you with the information on this month's giveaway. This is actually for last month, for June 2021. I'm giving away 2 high-end Japanese topwater baits. Seeing that we're in June and now in July, quite frankly, topwater should be on for you wherever you live in the country. And unfortunately, if you live outside the U.S., you are not eligible for this giveaway. In order to win, you must have a U.S. shipping address. Other than that, the rules are very simple in terms of how you enter this giveaway. Got to be a subscriber to my channel here on YouTube. Give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment down below letting me know that you do in fact want these 2 lures. So I'm going to tell you real quick right now, and then once people hop in here, if people hop in here, then I'm going to go ahead and just go over it again. Maybe we'll talk a little bit longer, but the 2 items in this month's giveaway are the Megabass Big Gabbit Frog. Some might call it the Big Gabbo. This is a large frog at 77 millimeters long. It's just over 3 inches and weighs 3/4 of an ounce. It features a catamaran style mouth. This is a popping style frog. However, it's going to walk very easily. It's got a soft collapsible body, very high quality color schemes and skirting material on this frog. So this thing retails for about $16. And the other item in this month's giveaway is the Evergreen Shower Blows, aka SB125. This is a topwater walking bait, as you can see. So it's a traditional stick style walking bait, but it is more of a pencil popper than anything else. The Shower Blows has this very unique cupped face to it that will throw water, and it is tail weighted. So this thing is going to almost walk in place as you walk the bait. So this is a great bait for fishing around heavier cover, isolated pieces of structure, and also in open water as well. This color is called Bone, and Evergreen has a pretty unique take on it in that the belly has a ton of glitter. So it's just going to flash just a little bit more. As you can hear, it's got a little bit of a knock to it. Not necessarily a traditional one knocker style. Little bit higher pitch than what would be typical in that. This bait retails for $18.99, and I'm giving both of these away brand new in the packaging. As you can tell, I've already got one of each of them in my arsenal, but decided to go ahead and pick up one of each as duplicates in order to give away to you guys. So this color in the Big Gabbo or Big Gabbit Frog is called MB Gizzard. And again, the Shower Blows is in the Bone color. So at 125, that's 125 millimeters long. This thing is a 5-inch long topwater bait, just shy of 5 inches, and weighs 15/16 of an ounce, just shy of 1 ounce. So got a retail value of just shy of $40 here, and one of you lucky guys or gals is going to win this giveaway, which ends this upcoming Sunday, the 4th of July, 2021 at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I posted on my Instagram page earlier today posting the giveaway, but wanted to give you guys an opportunity to enter here on YouTube as well. So I see Justin is in the house. I see Frankie is in the house. What's up, guys? Justin already entered on Instagram, which is awesome. Really appreciate that, man. and shared to his story. That's a way that you can get 2 bonus entries into the giveaway on Instagram. Otherwise, you enter just simply by making sure that you're following me, like the post, and leave a comment tagging 2 of your friends, and each comment tagging 2 different people is going to count as 1 entry into the giveaway. So here on YouTube, if you want to enter, again, all you need to do is make sure you're subscribed to the channel, have the notifications turned on, like this video, and leave a comment down below, not in the chat if you're watching right now, but after this video is posted, leave a comment down below just letting me know that you're interested in these baits, would like to win the giveaway, and I'll make sure that you're entered. I will be announcing the winner probably on Monday or Tuesday of next week. Monday is the 5th and is my wife's birthday, so I may or may not announce the winner immediately after the giveaway ends, but I will close the giveaway and make sure that any delayed entries do not count. So hope you guys are excited about the giveaway, and let's get into just kind of hanging out for a couple of minutes. There's 3 people in here right now. Again, just like was the case last weekend when I was streaming, my son, who's 3.5 months old, is upstairs sleeping right now, and I kind of have to keep my ear on him just in case he wakes back up. I'll just have to leave abruptly. Otherwise, I'll hang out here for a few minutes with you guys, and yeah, hope you guys are doing well. Justin says he's going crabbing tomorrow. That is super cool, man. How often do you do that? And if I'm not mistaken, did you say, do you live in Washington State? Justin, remind me. Because that's pretty cool that you're going crabbing. What kind of crab do you guys catch? And I assume that you catch them in order to cook them. Is that right? Frankie said, had to put my best friend down today. My dog, of course. Awful day. Have to get some sleep, but just stop by for some support. Hey, man. Appreciate you stopping by, but it's us who should be supporting you. I am so sorry to hear that. That is awful. You know, same thing happened to my wife's brother and his wife last week. Had to put their Great Dane down, and it's just super sad. I've had to put 2 dogs down over the course of my life, and it's never easy, man. My dog right now is 10 years old, so sadly, that is going to be reality in the next few years. Just trying to get the most out of the time that we have. So, very sorry for your loss, Frankie. And, yeah, I wish you well. Hope you have a good rest of your night and can sleep well tonight, man. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for your support. Make sure you leave a comment when this video is done and posted so that you have a chance to win the giveaway, okay? Justin says, yes, Washington State, and going for Dungeness crab, and we eat them. Aren't those big? Dungeness crab. Honestly, I don't know much about crabs other than blue crab in Maryland, since I lived in Baltimore for like 5 years, but I don't really know Dungeness crab. Are they big? Cool Granddaddy Sweets says forever, thumbs up, rock and roll, A-okay. Or is your name Sweet Daddy? Cool Granddaddy Sweets Forever. Or did you say forever, thumbs up? I'm a little bit confused, but thanks for leaving a comment, man. Hope you're doing well tonight. There's 5 people in here right now, guys. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button and contribute in the chat. Just because I announced what's in the giveaway for this month. Otherwise, I don't really have much of an agenda to talk about tonight. Next time I hop on to do a live stream, we're going to talk about frogs or walking baits. We can go over topwater baits, but I kind of want to do one topic at a time. So it'll be 4 or 5 different videos that we end up doing about those. So one will be wake baits, one will be frogs, one will be walking baits, one will be poppers, and one will probably be prop style baits like the whopper plopper, or perhaps buzz baits as well. So Guggen Slayer in the house. What's up, dude? How you doing tonight, man? Frankie says, my dog was going to turn 17 next month. He lived an amazing life with us. He was so loved. Have a good night. Dude, 17. What a wonderfully long life for a dog. All right, Guggen Slayer, and anybody else who's watching right now hasn't already seen, these are the two baits in this month's giveaway. Both are brand new in the package. One is the Evergreen Shower Blows SB 125 Topwater walking bait in the bone color. Okay? If you guys aren't already familiar with this bait, it is a pencil popper style walking bait. It has a very unique cupped mouth that makes this bait easy to walk and spits water, moves a lot of water, makes a commotion. So it's also got a knocker inside it. It is tail weighted for good casting and for its walkability, and it's got really unique finish on it, with the belly having a ton of flake in it. So very high-end Topwater walking bait there with the Shower Blows, $19 bait. And the other one is the Megabass Big Gabbit or Big Gabot frog. This guy is just over 3 inches long and 3/4 of an ounce. So big frog, also with a very unique shape and design to it, with what they call a catamaran style mouth. I showed you guys in my last live stream when I was unboxing this bait and some others from Megabass, and told you that I'd be giving one of these away. So yep, this is the MB Gizzard color. Very cool little color here. Green, little bit of translucency, and a pink stripe down the side. Very high quality skirt to it. And yeah, great frog. So those two baits are in the giveaway, and best of luck to everybody who is entering. Ron Holly in the building. What's up, dude? He says, I'm beginning to really like the bone color. Yeah, honestly, bone is kind of the go-to for most serious bass fishermen, just because it can be fished in a majority of weather and water conditions. It's the most versatile. If you could only have one, bone would probably be it. So bone is probably the one that I have most of as well when it comes to topwater baits. Here's my walking bait box, and as you can see, I've got the Shower Blows in the big size in bone. I've got the Strike King Mega Dog in a similar color that they call Oyster. I've got the Savage Gear Prop Walker in the bone color. I've got the Strike King Sexy Dog Junior in the bone color. I've got the Head and Spook Junior in bone. I've got the original Spook, the Super Spook in bone. And I've got the Shower Blows SB 105 in bone. And the Evergreen JT 95 in the bone color as well. So, you know, and the Savage Gear Prop Walker in bone. This is a really cool bait that is kind of a hybrid between a walking bait and a plopper style bait. So I would say bone walking baits make up about 15 or 20% or more of the walking baits in my collection. So it's a great color, Ron. And yeah, you're not wrong about that, Ron. The oyster color is definitely one of my favorites from Strike King in the last couple of years, as is the color that they call natural shad. Those are newer colors to Strike King, and I love them both for sure. Guggen Slayer says, Shower Blows is my most wanted Topwater. Yeah, honestly, I love it. I've got them in all three sizes. A couple colors in the smaller 105, couple colors in the 125, which is that middle size, kind of standard, super spook size, and then just the one in bone in their mega size, the 150, that 6-inch size. So, Coogan Slayer says, have you tried the new Z-Man Leapfrogs? It's a sleeper. Yes, I have. My frog box is in the garage right now. I've been taking it with me as of late, so I literally just pulled this frog out of it to be able to show you guys up close before I came down here. I didn't bring the whole box, but I do have a handful of those frogs, and I like them for sure. Super, super soft, collapsible body, which I always am a big fan of. The hooks are designed perfectly around that body, stays very weedless. However, the only main downside that I see to it is that durability might be a little bit of an issue. I've had one that came ripped straight out of the package. You know, with the way that the hooks go into the body, there's no reinforcement there. They don't glue the hole or anything like that. So I do see it tearing up a little bit quicker than other frogs, but for the price tag, I want to say that they're less than $10. It's a great frog for the money, and it's got a unique shape, like a keeled belly to it, that I really like. So I've got them in both the walking and the popping version. Great bait, man. You're right. Cool Granddaddy Sweets Forever said the Funk had to put mine down 2 years ago. He was 13, big dog now, getting ready for 16-year-old, blind and deaf, but nose still works. Looks like a puppy with my daughter. Yeah, super sad having to put dogs down, you know. And you say, how do you remember all the names of them through the box and call them all bone? They're not all bone. You know what? I only mentioned the ones that are bone. I didn't mention all the other baits in the box, dude. I literally was going one by one, telling you which of these baits I have in the bone color. As you can see, looking at the box, I've got a few bone-colored baits in each row, but I've probably got a half a dozen to 10 or so baits per row. So, hope that makes sense, dude. Know the name of what? The baits? Dude, I'm a tackle addict. I happen to know what the baits are called. I can tell you probably almost every single one of them. You know, I've got my JDM walking baits down below. These are the Megabass Dog X Diamantes and the Evergreen JT 115 and 95. Over here, I've got the Lucky Craft Sammies, the Lucky Craft Gunfish, the Evergreen Shower Blows in the 105. And then over here, I've got the Berkeley Jaywalker. I've got the Head and Super Spook. I've got the Yozuri. Oh, shoot, you got me there. I don't know what the Yozuri walking bait is called. 3DB pencil. I don't know what it's called. The Strike King Sexy Dog Hard Knock, the 6th Sense Catwalk, the River to Sea Rover 128. I've got a bunch of the Head and Super Spook Juniors. I've got the Evergreen Shower Blows 125s. Again, the Strike King Sexy Dog Junior. the Ima Little Stick, the Savage Gear Prop Walker, the Yozuri 3DB Pencil Popper. This is the River to Sea Bubble Popper, or Bubble Walker, I should say. Evergreen Shower Blows in the 150. Correction, I do have 2 of those. Striking Mega Dog and the 6th Sense Mag Dog, I think it's called. So yeah, man, I just kind of know that stuff sticks with me. I don't know what to tell you, man. Guggen Slayer says, the Pompadour Jr. really impressed me this year. Dude, that is one bait that I don't have, that I've been really kind of teetering on picking up. Now, it's a crawler style bait, right? I don't have a lot of crawlers. I really only have the Savage Gear Bat. And I've had good success on it. So it's just not really a lure style that I've gotten into just yet. And I'm pretty, entry level when it comes to rats and wake baits in general. So we'll talk about that on a future video. I've got a box full of wake baits, but they're, half of them are crankbait style bodies with wake bait lips, and then the other half are rats and bats. So Ron says, your son is lucky you your son is lucky you didn't name him Yozuri. Yeah, he definitely is. That would be a whack name, but I probably could have come up with a decent name from some fishing lures, whether it's a lure manufacturer or a bait specifically, but I'm glad that I didn't. I'm glad that we went with the family name. As I've told you guys before, that was kind of fate. I told my grandfather on his deathbed 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago at this point, that if we had a boy, we were going to name him Wills. And we ended up having a girl. My wife was pregnant at the time, so we did not know at that time whether it was going to be a boy or a girl. Turned out she was a girl. Her name is Sadie. But then when we got pregnant last year, we decided not to find out the sex of the baby and just wait and be surprised. And when we found out it was a boy, we kind of just knew right away that his name would be Wills. So yeah. Yeah, man. Vixens. I don't have any Vixens. That is one bait that I do not have. And, mostly just because I really only got into bass fishing some 5 or 6 years ago. And they've been discontinued, since before then. For the most part. I mean, I know they kind of came back for a short period of time and theoretically are going to come back. And I know that the Teckle Kick Knocker is essentially the same thing, same mold, and all of that. But, for the price tag, I haven't justified picking up the Kick Knocker just yet. And I probably should because, I do have the Megabass Dog X Diamante and the Shower Blows, some high-end walking baits. But that said, I don't go all the way down the rabbit hole when it comes to every bait that's out there, right? And the Vixen is one kind of like the OG Wiggle Wart and a bunch of other baits out there that just have a lot of hype around them for good reason, because they were huge producers or are still huge producers for guys that have them and use them. But on the secondary market, they go for outrageous prices. So I just haven't been able to justify hunting one down for the sake of it. And I'm not big on buying lures secondhand, whether they're new in package or used and needing to be repainted. That just isn't really part of my game. So, damn, dude, the Vixen was your first walking bait? That's pretty cool. Ron says, how deep would you fish a Rappel Husky jerk? Uh, in my opinion, the Husky jerk is really a 4 to 6 foot diver. So I would fish it a little bit shallower than that, but I wouldn't try to fish it much deeper than that. Of course, there are situations where fish are going to be suspended deeper than that and might come up to eat a Husky jerk. However, its sweet spot as a suspending jerkbait is in that 3 to 5 or 4 to 6 foot range. So, yeah, Husky jerk is a great bait. Just a little bit more classic of an action. I find it's right in between, like the floating minnow and the X-Wrap, right? The floating minnow has a little bit more traditional action, is lightweight, it's balsa, bit more subtle and natural. The Husky jerk is a solid standard suspending jerkbait with those high-pitched rattles in them. And the X-Wrap is a bit more aggressive of an action, has that feathered treble on the back, and it has a loud snapping knocker rattle to it. I use all of them. But yeah, really like the Husky jerk, man. Wonk Fish, what up, dude? Yeah, I've only got one topwater walker. Forgot the name of it, but I got it from a mystery tackle box. Okay, right on, dude. Might be worth trying a little bit more of this year, and justifying picking up a couple more of them. Are you still subscribed to Mystery Tackle Box? And how many of you guys watching right now are subscribers to monthly tackle boxes? Be it Mystery Tackle Box, Monster Bass, or a different subscription altogether. Because I know that there's still a bunch of those out there. The 6 Cent Super Sacks. Tons of companies do their own thing. And I've talked to Discount Tackle about doing something with them. And I've told you guys about this before, but about me kind of handpicking a list of lures from month to month that I recommend, and then us kind of packaging that and putting it on the website for you guys to be able to just kind of click and purchase all, or kind of a la carte, choose which of those you really vibe with and want to pick up, whether it's one or a couple of them or all of them. So anyway, yeah, I don't know if you guys would be interested in something like that or would pay attention to it, but consider doing something like that with Discount Tackle before. I'm also talking to them about doing a bit more of their blogging work, so it'll be interesting to see if that picks up or what. Can't tell if it's the TV or my son whining a little bit, but I hear something. Ron says, what do you think about the Hula Popper 2.0? Well, I've got the one that you sent me. At least I'm pretty sure you sent me that. Maybe it was Justin, but from Wyoming. Actually, I think it was. I think it's a slick looking bait, but if I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not in my box of poppers. I don't really fish old school baits, and it's like a new take on an old school bait. So I love the color patterns on the 2.0. It's, in my opinion, it's more of a thing to catch fishermen just as much as it is to catch fish. The bluegill color is pretty cool though, but the action of the Hula Popper is just not really my favorite. I've got so many options when it comes to poppers that that I wouldn't go to it probably ever unless I'm just making a point to fish it for the sake of it. but it does have that very wide and open face, so it's going to throw a lot more water than a traditional popper, and it's going to make the blooping sound less so. So it's going to be more of a spitter than a chugger, if you will, but decent bait. Wonkfish says, I'm still subbed, and it's definitely still worth it in my opinion. Interesting. Okay. Mystery Tackle Box, subscriber. Good to know. Guggen Slayer says, I was gifted 3 Monster Bass boxes for my birthday, and that's where I got the Leapfrog from. Yep, I know Monster Bass has good relationships with Z-Man, with Strike King, and a couple of other big name manufacturers. So for Monster Bass, I think you're going to get a real nice mix of big name brands and then also some up and coming ones. But you'll also kind of get the, every now and again, you'll get the Monster Bass bait, or you'll get kind of a total nobody, lower quality type of thing that you might never throw. And I get the argument that, like, you're receiving stuff that you maybe never would have considered throwing, and because you received it in a box, then you will, and maybe you'll like it. But if you're someone like me and you've got a plethora of baits already, and decision making in terms of what you're going to use when you're out on the water is a difficult task, I don't do those slams, but I get why that's a cool concept, is receiving a box and just taking that box with you to see how many fish you can catch on those baits alone. I think that's a cool idea, but in terms of just using the subscription to add those baits to your collection, that's not my preferred way to shop, and that's just me, right? Cool Granddaddy Sweets Forever says, I get the 6 cents tailored. It's great. Nice. Okay. So interesting. You guys are pretty much all subscribers to something, which is very interesting to hear. But yeah, that's 6 cents definitely has some cool options for you. And Guggen Slayer, I'm not surprised by that. Monster Bass does claim and try to make a point to have their boxes tailored to the time of the year and the region of the country that you're living in, which is a nice idea, because a lot of other companies just tend to kind of throw in, what they have a lot in stock of, or what companies that they've recently signed on with, and so you might end up getting topwater baits in the winter. You might end up getting just baits that are kind of out of place, out of time, that you're not necessarily going to use. So I can appreciate the fact that Monster Bass is really trying to give you baits at the right time and that are going to work for you depending on where you live. So that mostly comes down to colors, but it also does come down to certain baits as well. So pretty cool deal. Wonk says, I don't know if you use them, but what do you know about how to fish a diamond jig? CSUs, I got one from my uncle, but I have no idea what to do with it. Diamond jig. Because you got one from your uncle. What is a diamond jig? Do you mean a diamond-shaped jig head? Like it's a jig with a diamond-shaped head, or is diamond the brand name, or what? Because I don't know exactly what you're talking about. Pull the trigger, we can all use more. I'm still guilty of spending $100 a month on tackle, though, says Guggen Slayer. Yeah, well, yep, I hear you, man. I think I used to spend between 50 and 100, probably more like $100 a month until I started working with Discount Tackle. And now that I've got my deal with them, I definitely spend less, but I'm probably in that 50-ish dollars a month budget personally. And as you can tell, I am overflowing with baits right now. So I probably have more than I need for a decade or even a lifetime, aside from soft plastics. Now, I do have enough soft plastic to last me for years and years and years. However, there are always going to be go-tos, favorites, things that you just kind of develop confidence in and use till they run out, and then you need to restock. So as much as I continue to pick up new stuff, there will always be restocking to do in the room. So you say you think it's a saltwater bait. It's just called a diamond jig. It's like a big piece of shiny lead with a treble hook on the back. I'm not familiar with it, man. I wish I could tell you. So, it definitely sounds like a saltwater type of deal, where you're expecting to catch fish on the fall or that are feeding on bottom, where you're not going to do much with it. If it's just a hunk of lead with a treble hook, hopefully you're not using it to snag fish, but does sound like something that you're going to toss out there. It's going to get a reaction bite on the fall, or you just dead stick it on bottom, maybe hop it once or twice, and that's going to be it. But a treble hook on a jig is definitely an interesting concept, and I hope you're talking about a jig and not like an inline spinner or something, or a spoon. Definitely could be a spoon, but I don't know. Ron says, I'm going to keep buying stuff like this until I catch a bass. Yeah, man. Dude, we got to get you catching a bass ASAP. I have faith that it can happen this year. We just got to talk about how often you're getting out there, where you're going, how realistic it is, and then get you committed to using a few high confidence lures before you start really experimenting too much with a wide variety of stuff. I know you are into collecting just like the rest of us, and really like to do your research, check stuff out, trust in what people that you like are saying works. But you got to start somewhere, right? Like today I caught 2 smallies, pretty good ones. Caught one on a drop shot on the baby size version of this, the Strike King Z2, the baby Z2. They're all in my backpack, so I can't show you the little one, but it's a fluke style bait made from Elastec that is salted. And Kevin Van Dam talks about it a lot, and I do too, for good reason. Got a really good smallie on one of my first casts with that bait today, and then actually caught one on a swimming worm, the Zoom Ultra Vibe Speed Worm in the Sungill color. And yeah, it was fun. Just got out for about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. Got those 2 good fish. Got a number of other bites that I wasn't able to hook up and land fish on, whether it be on the Ultra Vibe Speed Worm, got the tail bit off, or the drop shot where they were just kind of nosing down and eating it, but not really engulfing it. And on the Whopper Plopper, got a couple of bites, but they didn't get it good enough. And, Whopper Plopper in the 110 size, is perhaps a little bit too big for a smallmouth to really get. So, Russ Dennis in the house. What's up, bro? How you doing tonight, man? No problem, Granddaddy. You have a good rest of your night. My pleasure sharing the knowledge. Feel free to ask questions anytime you've got them. And we'll look forward to seeing you in the next live stream, man. Guggen Slayer says, put a shad on the treble, maybe. That's a decent idea. Anything salt is very high confidence of mine. Well, what's cool about this bait is that it's made from Elastec. So typically you would think super buoyant and salt free. But Strike King has Z-Man make this for them, and they have it salted. So it has a very neutral buoyancy. And it is almost designed to go on a drop shot. So if you keep your line tight without moving your weight off the bottom, that thing will sit perfectly horizontal on the hook. Assuming that you've tied your drop shot rig properly and you've run the line back down your Palomar knot so that the hook is facing out. But that bait does not fall. So a lot of baits that are salted, you know, will have nice action in the water, but they will fall when you dead stick it. Even on a tight line, you know. So cool thing about the Z2 is it looks just like a bait fish sitting where it is. And then you shake or move that drop shot just a little bit, and it's going to move like a fish would. It's got incredible action, and I like it in the big size, but I especially like it in the baby size, especially on a drop shot. Great multi-species bait, great smallie bait. Highly, highly recommend it. Ron says, I'm going to start painting everything pink and purple. This is Ron's favorite bait in the world here, guys. This is the Spro Rat in the Morning Dawn color. This is the 40 size. And this bait has put in some serious work for me night fishing the last 2 or 3 seasons. Absolutely love it. In my opinion, the 50 is a little big. The 30 is a little small. The 40 is just ideal. Love that bait. Russ Dennis, doing great, man. Thank you so much for asking. Having a good night. I just, my son was a little bit cranky, and I wasn't able to get him down until about 45 minutes ago. And so I knew it was a little bit late, but I did want to post about the giveaway tonight to give you guys as much time as possible to see this video and enter the giveaway. And then also so I could link it over on Instagram and give people over there a chance to hop over here and enter again as well. So the 2 baits in this month's giveaway are, like I showed you guys last week, the Megabass Big Gabbit or Big Gabot frog in the MB Gizzard color. Big frog, 3 inches, 3/4 ounce. Beautiful frog though. And the Evergreen Shower Blows 125 walking bait in the bone color. This thing's just right at 5 inches and close to 1 ounce in weight. Really cool glitter flake on the bottom. Tell me if you guys can see that. It's got kind of a rough texture. Now you can't see that very well, but really shiny blue and green flake. Not just a rough texture. And yeah, so high-end baits that you guys might not buy on your own. And if you would, you know, it's a bonus too. But you know, it's a $19 walking bait and a $16 frog. So definitely on the upper end of the spectrum in terms of price tag. So thought that I would treat you guys to a couple of nice lures that I've already got in my collection. And I just went out of my way to get duplicates of them so that one of you guys could have them in your box too. So, hope you guys enjoy. Wonk says, I got like those 10-inch green pumpkin zoom speed worms. Yeah, I don't know about 10-inch speed worms, maybe 10-inch ribbon tail worms, perhaps. The old monster? What size offset hook should I use? I'm more of an EWG guy than an offset, but that's personal preference. So if you're using a 10-inch worm, I would go to a 5/0 hook most of the time. You could go a little bit bigger, but then it almost becomes a little too much. The Gamakatsu EWG monster hook is made in a 6/0. That would be a decent version, but really just a 5/0 hook would do you best there. 4/0 would work, but might be a little bit small. Yeah, so my guess is that it's the old monster, if I'm not mistaken. Because the Mag 2 is an 11-inch worm, but the old monster is a 10-inch. So this is what the bait looks like, and it is a 10-inch worm, but as you can see, the body itself is like 5.5 inches long. So a 5/0 hook is going to cover about half of the body, and going to be essentially the most appropriate size to use there. You don't want to go too big, but you definitely want to have enough there. Another bait that has been just slaying for me, guys? And this is a sleeper of a bait. The pack that I've been using is up in my tackle bag, but the old Zoom Swamp Crawler is a real sleeper bait, okay? And it's very versatile. As you can see, it is skinny and it's really limp, and it's salt-free, I want to say. So really good on a drop shot, on a Wacky rig, on a Nico rig. I've been fishing it on a Wacky rig and a Nico rig as of late. And yeah, in really skinny water, on a Wacky rig, this thing falls really slow, and fish go crazy for it. On a Nico rig, it's got a great action, same pulsing action that you get out of that Wacky rig, but with a small, like 1/32 ounce nail weight in the head of it. It has a nice fall that's probably 2 seconds per 1 foot. So really like that bait. But I'd go 5/0 hook on the old monster. Sorry to get off track for you, man. Justin says, Wonk, use a shaky head. That's how I caught my PB. Shaky head would be a good option too, man. For sure. Guggen Slayer says, I've been even preferring Yamamoto's on my Ned rig. That is an interesting thing that honestly is not totally my style. I know that a lot of people have been doing it more and more. Well, it's kind of ebbed and flowed. When the Ned rig was new, a lot of people were resistant to using buoyant soft plastics and said, oh yeah, I just take a Senko, cut it in half, throw that on a mushroom, and there you go. You got the Ned rig. And quite frankly, I don't think it's the same thing. I mean, that's a jig worm-ish. it's the same concept as a Ned rig, but you don't get the same presentation when the bait lays down flat on the bottom. So I don't know. It's not really my style, but if you guys were watching the recent MLF event on the St. Lawrence this past week, it's insane how many guys up at the top were throwing the brand new and soon to be on the market Max Scent Little General. So, they make the General, the Senko style bait in the Max Scent, and now they're making a Ned rig sized version of that same bait. So, yeah, I've always been more of a fan of buoyant soft plastics or neutrally buoyant soft plastics on a Ned rig, but to each his own. And I wouldn't be surprised if you're catching Ned rig fish on a Senko. So anyway, Ron says, recommend a hook for wacky rigging a 5 to 6 inch worm. I really prefer the Owner Mosquito Light hook in like the size 1. That's kind of my go-to. But there are a couple of other hooks that I will use. And one that I think works really well for Nico rigging and wacky rigging is the VMC Nico hook. Again, in a size 1 or 1/0. That's going to be a little bit bigger, but the Mosquito Light from Owner, in my opinion, is just, it's my day in and day out drop shot and wacky rig hook. Okay? Wonk, you can enter here simply by making sure you are a subscriber to the channel. You've got the notifications turned on. You hit the thumbs up. And when this video posts, so come back later tonight or tomorrow and leave a comment below. Not here in the chat where we're all hanging out right now, but after the video posts, you leave a comment down below. That'll give you 1 entry into the giveaway. But yes, also hop over to Instagram. There are a couple different ways to enter there. So as long as you're following my page, like the post, and leave a comment tagging 2 of your friends, that counts as 1 entry. You can comment as many times as you want, tagging 2 different people, and each comment with 2 unique tags, tagging 2 different people, counts as 1 separate entry. You can also repost or share my post onto your story, and that'll count as 2 bonus entries. So, yeah, theoretically, you could enter this giveaway, 20 times, and some people will, simply by, leaving 15 comments, tagging 30 different people on Instagram. They'll post it to their story. They'll come over here. That right there would be 18 entries into the giveaway. So, up your chances by doing that. But Ron says, monster hook for 12-inch man's jelly worm. Yeah, I would say so. I would use that EWG monster in the 6/0. Maybe 7/0. But honestly, with worms like that, I like to get a little bit creative and alter them. I like to cut them down, repurpose them, use them in ways that they weren't necessarily designed to be used. But if you're going to fish it as is, that's how I do it. Thank you, Justin. Appreciate it, guys. Yeah, there's 8 people in here, 7 thumbs up. So one of you watching hasn't already hit the thumbs up button. Do me that solid real quick, guys. Let's get over 8. And Guggen Slayer says, yeah, it's more of a jig worm. Agree about the Ned, brother. Says Russ. And Ron says, cheaters about the Little General. Yeah, Max Scent is no joke. So I did just recently pick up another Max Scent bait in a curl tail worm. I forget what they even call it. I should know, but I hadn't seen it before. It's like an 8-inch curly tail worm with a ribbed body, really thick ribbed body, fatter than, you know, like the 5 or 6-inch general. So I will probably consider cutting off the ribbon tail and fishing it like a Senko on a Wacky rig or a weightless Texas rig from time to time. But it looks pretty sweet and it's got decent action. I got a bite on it, and of course part of the tail got bit off as I was setting the hook. So that was disappointing, but just picked those up the other day. Already got bit on it, you know, in the first few casts that I made with it. But you know, I was just at the tail end of my time out on the water. Had been fishing other stuff. I was trying to catch them on a frog and on, you know, topwater. Otherwise, but max scent is almost like cheaters, you know. There's something about it, especially for smallmouth. Scent does matter, and that max scent is insanely stinky. I mean, it's a very unique formula. Makes you wonder if, like Power Bait and like Gulp, if at a certain point Berkley is going to release bottles or containers of the max scent formula for you to be able to use as scent and just throw on whatever baits you want. Where you could take Zoom or Z-Man or other baits that are really not scented at all and throw some max scent on that and cheat your way into catching some fish. Wonk says, I picked up some of the larger size Z-Man goats on impulse but didn't really know what to do with them. Any advice or rigs I should use? Yes, for sure. 3 or 4 main ways that I would use them. First would be Topwater, okay? The billy goat is a big bait, okay? So this thing is 4 1/4 inches long. So it's pretty sizable. But you can throw this thing on a 4/0 hook, and it's not going to be too small of a hook on there. So I would use like a Gamakatsu EWG Superline hook, and even with that heavy gauge wire hook, this thing will still float on the surface. I've tried it before, and this thing buzzes pretty well when swam on a medium or medium fast retrieve. So very subtle toad-like action to it. That would be number one. Along the same lines, I would throw this on the back of a skirtless buzzbait. Great option. And then after that, you could throw the billy as a chatterbait trailer. I prefer the standard goat for a chatterbait and a swim jig trailer. But I think punching the billy goat is going to be probably the most popular application for the bait. It's very streamlined, and it's got a good kicking action on the way down. So I think you throw that on a flipping hook and a heavy weight pegged, and it's going to be a killer flipping and punching bait. And lastly, kind of along the same lines, but can be fished differently, would be on a Tokyo rig. So either the flipping hook or the EWG hook, Tokyo rig is going to be a sweet way to fish the billy goat too. Guggen Slayer says, I bought a 5.8-inch flipping bait. Got to throw now. Dude, that's insane. What kind of bait is that? Is that the Geek Crack Bellows Kill? What flipping bait is 5.8 inches long? I'm curious. Ron says, looks killer on a jackhammer. Yes. Especially the standard size goat. In my opinion, that size is most appropriate on a chatterbait and on a swim jig. The billy goat is just a little bit big, especially on a standard size chatterbait or swim jig that's, that 3/8 or even ½ ounce. But I think, on a football jig, the billy goat would be great too. Justin says, Tyler, I'm out of here for the night. Got to get to bed so I can get up early to crab. Thanks for the stream. No problem, bro. God bless you as well. Good luck crabbing tomorrow. Hope you have a great day on the water. Hope it's very productive. And we'll all be curious to hear about it when we're on next. So I'm going to dip out of here soon as well. But hoping that I can hop on either tomorrow night or the night after. My wife is working tomorrow night. Her shifts got moved up this week because of the holiday. And she's on call on Saturday as well. So it's possible that I'll be on either tomorrow or Saturday night. And we can talk about, one topic in depth. Sounded like frogs were kind of the #1 choice. And I think I hear my 5-year-old walking around upstairs. So probably need to go put her back to bed right now, considering it's 11 o'clock my time. But, okay, the bull flat in 5.8 inches. I didn't know they made it that big, man. That is pretty cool. Wonk said, I've had some issues getting paddle tail style baits, like the rivet soft plastic and the skinny dipper, getting them to run straight. A lot of that comes down to making sure that the tails are straight when you're getting ready to fish them, because sometimes in the packaging they will get twisted, they will get bent up. So for example, I've got like a Rage swimmer here that I've already got rigged up. This has been sitting on my table for a while. Check it out. This thing has a twisted tail. You can see that it's turned to the side. Let me see if you can see that. So I'm holding the bait straight at you, but the tail is turned almost completely sideways. That thing is not going to kick like it should, which is why most of the time you want to keep swim baits in their clamshell packaging. And if you're using a skinny dipper or a gambler, those don't come in clamshell packaging, which is a huge downside to those baits, in my opinion. So I think leaving them in their packaging, assuming it's a clamshell, is crucial. Otherwise, you can straighten out the tails by dipping them in boiling water before you get them rigged up. But otherwise, you want to make sure that you are rigging your jig head or your keel-weighted belly hook, whatever you're using, totally straight on the bait. So you just got to take your time and make sure that you're threading it on and coming out the middle of the bait. That is going to be the two main reasons that your bait is not running true, not swimming straight. But with the rivet toad, I'm not quite sure, other than rigging, why it wouldn't swim properly, because those don't usually get too twisted up. But yeah, a rivet bait, rivet style bait, toad style bait that you guys should definitely know of or be using or pick up if you don't already have them is the Keitech Noisy Flapper. That bait is insane. It is a toad style bait. I'd have to pull out my toad box, which we can talk about when we talk frogs. I'll just show you real quick before I dip out of here. So I've got a bait full, or a box full of toads, and here's the rivets. These don't get too twisted up, but sometimes they will. But guys, this Keitech Crazy Flapper is a very unique toad style bait. It is made from dual density soft plastics. So it's got two different plastics. One half is more dense than the other. So if this thing lands on its back, as you start retrieving it, it will right itself every single time. And this thing runs true no matter what. It's also got a very cool, shape to it, keeled belly. And it's got a back that is designed to take either style hook that you might use on this thing. So it has a line down the middle, a slit to let a belly weighted hook, an EWG hook, just rest right in there. Or if you want to use a double frog hook, you can tuck it into these ridges that run down the back. So super, super cool bait that weighs like a ½ ounce by itself and does not need a weighted hook at all. And like I said, it runs true every time. Love, love, love the Noisy Flapper from Keitech. And definitely my favorite toad. And I've got the Rage Toad, the Rage Shad, the Horny Toad, the Yum Tip Toad, the Ribbits. Kind of got them all. So guys, anyway, I'm caught up on comments. I gotta go upstairs and make sure that all is well in terms of the household. The kids are sleeping, and they were good to go. It's also getting late. I gotta get some rest since I'm with the kids all day tomorrow, and I'm gonna have to feed my son here in the next hour or two anyway, and I'm gonna be up once or twice in the middle of the night. So thank you guys so much for hanging out tonight. I didn't think I'd be on here this long, and it was fun hanging out with you guys. Thank you for asking questions and making for good conversation. Appreciate your guys' support. One last time, to enter the giveaway to win this Megabass Big Gabbit Frog and the Evergreen Shower Blows 125 walking bait. Retail price about 37 bucks. All you got to do here on YouTube is make sure you're subscribed to the channel, turn on notifications, hit the like button on this video, and in a few minutes from now even, you could hop back on, reload this video, and leave a comment down below letting me know that you want these baits, that you had a good time chatting. You could say anything you want in the comments. One comment, one entry per person here on YouTube. Like I said, you can hop over to Instagram at hooksets.arefree and enter as many times as you want over there. So, guys, really appreciate you guys. Fun as always, and I hope to see you again in the next couple days. Cheers. Peace out.